Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero of sight, defender of the fatherland. Off you to a glorious 1v1 on Faymonville Approach in the southeast. It is VonIvan fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. Comrade Stalin here with the 76th Infantry Division with tank hunter tactics featuring conscript PTRS package, anti-tank fortifications, ambush tactics, B4 howitzers, and the IL-2 PTAP anti-tank bombing run. With triple infantry in the north, it is F3rig. Fighting for the Oberkommandist, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the... let's just go with 7th Panzer Division here with Grand Offensive featuring Panzerverteidiger smoke bombs, Infrasturmgewehrs, Panzer Commander, and the Tiger Tank. A double Volkskrieger start here versus double Country start. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters as always. These champions and heroes are keeping the business. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate by PayPal. Links are in the video description, and you know, others comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Keep those YouTube wizards from coming at me. Skirmishing here around the northern fuel point here, as both sides are focusing there. For now, and they're dispatching a lot of troops here and there, but mostly north of there, definitely forcing the south. They're already doing a bit of wire work there. Northeast Sturmpionier pinning the inside the building. That's going to have to retreat there from VonIvan before they get utterly wiped out by the Sturmpionier. Volkskrieger is nearby, pushing them back there. I imagine we'll be seeing at least a third conscript here from VonIvan, but maybe up to 4, since he'll probably want some more conscripts since he has no elite infantry, and you know, he's slightly going to equip at least one of them with the conscript PTRS package. F3rig with the Panzerverteidiger, skirmishing around here as F3rig swings towards VonIvan's Carphone. They're looking to now have access to the southern fuel point at least easily. Third conscript there for VonIvan, Sturmpionier and the Volkskrieger is pushing back the conscript there. We need to move forwards, and we got the first Panzerverteidiger squad ready here for F3rig and the German army. Skirmishing here up north, we got the conscript going from the northern field point there, but the Volkskrieger are well dug in. Heavy fighting right at the doorstep to VonIvan's base, but the new stick close being wiped out at the doorstep to VonIvan's base. But one nearly survives the rest. They're charging at the Sturmpionier and the Volkskrieger. Heavy casualties being inflicted on VonIvan's conscripts. His men are dying in the droves, but ultimately, through sheer numbers and stubbornness, he overwhelms his opponent there, at the same time securing the southern fuel point with engineers. Just moving forwards and backwards. There's a lot of action here, a lot of shooting, a lot of dying. Panzerverteidiger counterattack towards the fuel point, at least attacking towards it in the first place. Got the fuel point, but we'll have to retreat here, and we do have a second Panzerverteidiger squad ready here for F3rig versus VonIvan. So we're off to a lot of action in the north here. Conscript going from the northern fuel point. Troops securing and reinforcing there. Bit of light skirmishing there. But definitely rare to see tank hunter tactics. Mostly because it's a fairly, like, you know, light on call-ins commander, and most commanders that are typically the most popular, they're typically the ones that are either like heavy in call-ins that just otherwise feature like very easy to use abilities, and this commander really doesn't offer any of those. Like, you know, doesn't have like a really cool air support ability, which typically tends to be like very popular. Swarm company here for VonIvan, so probably a maximum field gun. Truck out there for F3rig. I'm guessing battle group headquarters, but could be mechanized, which again, as mentioned in other episodes, has become increasingly popular with the Oberkommandist crowd. Conscript was the Panzerverteidiger. Let's see what he sets up with the truck there. Flamethrower used was the Sturmpionier, but the Sturmpionier are so far easily well in them. No, it is the battle group headquarters, so no mechanized play here from F3rig versus VonIvan. Again, we'll have to see what it goes for there. Worth noting, only triple conscripts. Definitely makes going for the PTRS package slightly risky. Of course, you can always just go for a fourth one down the road to go for that anyways. Okay, finally on the fuel point here. More troops running here for VonIvan. But he's so far very much in the defensive against F3rig, who's just striking hard and consistently. So how will VonIvan get himself out of this mess? Is the big question. Troops mounting in the centre. We've got mines down here for VonIvan. Is he actually... Oh, he's laying down the TM-35, not any fancier mines here, which he technically gets access to through the anti-tank fortifications ability. Medics on the way there for VonIvan. He's moving in here, but versus 2 infantry squads. It's going to be a tough there. Set the flamethrower could get off some lucky hits there. So versus the already depleted Volkskundies. There we go, force retreat here. Now, versus the Panzers, they can take a shot here. In particular, they gain like a bit of veterancy and again get a bit lucky. But that does require a bit of luck here for VonIvan. More engineers arriving, which could swing the tide there in favour of VonIvan. Down to 1 man, force retreat here. Close but not quite there for VonIvan. Got sandbags up to the northern field point. Back here, trip reinforcing healing. VonIvan is bleeding a lot here versus F3rig. Who is admittedly also doing a decent bit of bleeding. Points the north being seized. At least I'd say that's a pretty good shift there for VonIvan. Fulton's moving forwards here. Sturmgewehr 44 upgrade on the way for them. Plus Panzerschrecks. Okay, counts like, you know. Hey Otto, we're getting Panzerschrecks. Wait, that can't be right. Someone call headquarters. Hey Jürgen, yeah, we're getting Panzerschrecks over here. That can't be right. Yeah, it was a mistake after all. Good thing you sorted that out. Flak after and there for F3rig. Tech there for VonIvan, probably going to be a T-70 here. Good old classic T-70. Featuring more heavily in companies too than they probably ever did in the actual war. Volkswagen 40 backing up the Sturmpioneer. Got the northern field point, but the continent by northern field point are viciously routed here as F3rig's main charge forward for the glory of Deutschland. Volkswagen the countries here. The south we got the convoys back, the Panzerfusilier squad there. Flak half track nearly done for F3rig. Nearly done, but not quite. Volker's holding up here. There we go. 251-17 flak half track out. Tanko V-Battalion command up there for VonIvan. Going for a half track. Okay, that's interesting too, but does that mean he's going to like stuff anti-tank chaps into the half track, or what is he exactly planning to do there? Certainly a few questions there, to put it gently. But the half track is definitely an interesting choice for VonIvan. Note the Soviets did not really have their own armoured half tracks and relied pretty much solely, I think, on the Americans, perhaps to a lesser extent, British armoured half track. Of course, the British were also using the American armoured half track, so it would ultimately have been American armoured half track the Soviets had to rely on. Well, then, whatever they captured from the Germans. So there you go, M5 half track out there. Push forward, see with the Panzerfusilier. So what will VonIvan do here? That is the big question. Skirmishing here, skirmishing there. Overall, a lot of small engagements here between VonIvan and F3rig, but F3rig so far definitely has the lead here. Ooh, retreats in the face of the half track. I imagine that's because F3rig is concerned that he's upgrading to the corp mount, which of course would decimate his infantry. So obviously, in this regard, this may or may not have been an intentional bluff by VonIvan, but whatever that happens, F3rig's assuming he's going for the anti-aircraft half track and just retreats. And that's the other side of metagame knowledge. Sometimes it can, you know, be used to bluff your opponent. Of course, sometimes they either don't care or they call your bluff, but, you know, it's a little worth note there. We'll have to see what he does next. Fun from northern field point here. A Kettenwerfer out for F3rig. Looking how many of the 50 cal mounted on the front of the M5 half track, which was the less armoured version of the two primary armoured half tracks in the United States service. They kept the M3 half track to themselves primarily because that one was better armoured. In the south we got the Panzers, the conscripts. 2 squads versus 1 should be a win here unless there's some really lucky RNG there for F3rig, or a good grenade throw here. Half track there's 50 cal, the Sturmpioneer up north, flak half track bombarding the conscript position. In the south they're pushed off the field here. Another Panzer squad there, they will need support, but it does not seem forthcoming here for VonIvan's forces in the south. They have been left to fend for themselves. Field gun there for VonIvan. Is he going to go for the corp mount, or was it just all a bluff? Okay, I've hit on the M5 half track, needs to get out of there. And I do mean fast. So 436 was 495. Need to fix up the half track as well. He can begin upgrading with corp mount. So he was planning the corp mount after all, I guess. Just, you know, amusing to see the way he did it. And he's actually cancelling the field gun for a Maxim. Well, this is getting very interesting. There you go, fixing up. Also, fun note about the M4 half track. It could technically be upgraded with additional 30 caliber half-tracks on machine guns, not half-tracks, 30 caliber machine guns on the sides there, or the actual, in the war, actual, you know, live history version there, not the game version, had 30 calibers that could possibly mount it on the sides, though no army really never made use of it, but it was technically an option there for it. So, little fun fact there. Maximum force there.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. We have an isolated sector.
Turning into the retreating Panzerversucher, flak half-track going out and the advancing Soviet troops under VonIvan's command. Maxim setting up here. North of the minor push as well. We've got 2 squads from Ferric there to fend off things, but in the centre he's definitely a bit exposed here as VonIvan strikes, though he is lacking something to seriously threaten the flak half-track faster. In the hand-attack, Tafta can't get closer to the academy, but also the flak half-track itself could easily knock out his quad mount. The engineers being mauled here. North here fighting continues between VonIvan and Ferric. In the south there, troops push back. There's the quad mount rushes in. Got the sun fuel pulling out of the hands of him, and we got grenades research for VonIvan. No sun attack yet for Ferric. Half checking Northwards now. 4 kills. Veterans who won. Taking into the Panzer, they're immediately suppressing them. And an MG-34 for Ferric. All stand clear terrain here. VonIvan steadfastly remains a bit pressurized here by Ferric. But VonIvan is an aggressive play if nothing else, and will look for like weak spots to exploit against his opponent. You got the folks up north here caught, routed with ease. Close eventually to on that half track. Very close. Maximum acting for VonIvan. Will we ever be seeing the conscript features package here from VonIvan, or was that just all a dream? Ooh, we got here overdrive. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for it. VonIvan fiercely diving in there with his quad mount. Getting a decent amount of damage in the game. There we go. In the south, a large German assault here under Ferric charges at the conscripts with no cover, then only a flare mine to defend themselves against its oncoming fascists. VonIvan is forced to retreat them. Molotov off here. B4 here, which of course could be what VonIvan's planning ultimately. Definitely some players who really like the B4 howitzers. Mines down here from Ferric. So we'll have to see if VonIvan goes straight for that. That could definitely be a bit of a challenge here for Ferric, but then again if he gets out enough armour, may not have to be such an issue. We get a field gun there though, boy, for VonIvan. Not going straight for the B4 at least. Got the truck out there, the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. The south here, Quartman striking. He's using it quite effectively, like to say hit isolated infantry units aren't quite well supported. The Quartman is really good versus isolated infantry and could quickly suppress them and deal a lot of damage and then push them away. That's of course need to be mindful of the Raketenwerfer, which can similarly though do a lot of damage very fast as half track. Finding the northern fuel point is quickly centered on Ferric's advantage, and VonIvan is forced to concede the positions once more in the centre. Another push forwards here, but again Ferric there puts up a stout defence against VonIvan. But VonIvan is just constantly probing, constantly looking for weaknesses, and when he finds them he just dives straight in. Sturmpeter the Maxim pushing them back. Almost lost his conscript there though to the incendiary grenade or Molotov, depending on perspective. Half track ready again. No further tech yet for VonIvan. And I imagine we're seeing Schwer Panzers going up there for Ferric. Note he's setting up more or less at the edge of his base. And there you go, punches the intake of half track. Retreats so slow, that could be a wipe. As it's also quite good at hunting down retreating units. Another advantage there, go to the quad mount. That's it, of course, VonIvan does follow with here. Bit slow reaction for the half track, I think. May mean he misses out here, but maybe not. Again, Metal 2 it is fairly fast and can keep up by the looks of it. So yeah, that's going to be wiped there. Ferric, thumbs up to VonIvan. Rather uncomfortable blow there to Ferric. For Ferric at least. After they're taking further damage here, we're close to the ace when they half track up north here. Another assault for VonIvan. Ferric suddenly finds himself Bit more of a stretch now with the loss of the infantry squad and the flak half-tech being pushed back. Playing around the ND34 position there. Nice flank there by VonIvan. Thumbs up. I imagine we're seeing a Molotov cocktail here if he had the munitions. But he does not. Winging the half-tech using overdrive. No sign of further tech here for VonIvan. Ferric, their Schwab hand quarters is up and they're authorized. Could consider some Obersoldaten here versus VonIvan. Oh, we actually do have the anti-tank grenade on one of the counter support there, the PTRS package, opening up for well, several anti-tank rifles and the anti-tank grenade assault and vehicle detection abilities. Goodness, the flak half-tech the counter. Oh, never mind, they're pinned down now. Half-tech though goes down here to a combined Panzerfaust anti-tank rifle grenade combo. Devastating. VonIvan's Court-mount half-tech. You can see a wipe on the counter squads. That's going to be a huge blow here to the Red Army and a great kill here for Ferric. And compensating for some of his losses. There we go. Got the counter squad on top of the half-tech. Brutal losses here for VonIvan. Brutal. But a well-executed push here by Ferric. We got the Obersoldaten squad on the way there. That's also very good. He's also not far away from our Panzer IV. VonIvan here going for the mechanized armor company. Conscript charging ahead here. Ferric launches fresh forces. No, he cancels the Obersoldaten squad. Might be because he's close to the Panzer IV, but also he needs to reinforce a lot of troops. He doesn't want to spend too much manpower there on reinforcement and the Obersoldaten, so he wants to make sure he can go for the Panzer IV as soon as possible. That will at least be my speculation there. Mechanized armor company with them for VonIvan. I imagine you might see the T-34 some 6 here first, but we could of course go for other things down the road. Go northern points. Comes with the Volksgrenadier. We're fighting there. Being engaged by both sides here by Ferric's forces. Machine gun following up here. Troop reinforcing healing up for VonIvan. Grabbing the northern points. Ferric wants to use in the south. Bit of a dance here between the two. VonIvan very close to the T-34. But again, VonIvan could have other plans here versus Ferric. In particular, he's concerned about something like the Panzer IV Model D or something bigger. He may be more tempted to go for the Issue-5 first. He should also at some point consider replacing some of his infantry losses. He's down just 2 conscript squads. Versus an opponent with 4 is definitely not great there. Particularly if Ferric were to get around to some Obersoldaten on top of the Panzer IV here. Then just having 2 conscript squads could be a bit dangerous there for VonIvan. He's not going for the T-34, so it's either an Issue-5 or, well, God knows what. There we go, Panzer IV and Obersoldaten here for Ferric. Can go for the Issue-5. Is he just planning to go for the B4 howitzer now? This is something that's going to be phenomenal. There you go. T-34 from 6 after all. Bit of delay there. Could have that I would say significantly sooner. We're talking like roughly 2 minutes sooner, maybe 1 at least. So I feel like that's a slightly missed opportunity for VonIvan. Slightly missed opportunity. He's focusing more and more on the north, but Ferric is looking down quite aggressively there. Trying to take out the flak half-tech with his conscripts. Not bad at all. Almost got the flak half-tech there. Engineers pushed back. Of course, by 1944-45, the Red Army really didn't use anti-tank rifles significantly. In fact, they're much more likely to use Panzerfaust. They kept them from the Germans than be using anti-tank rifles, I think. And the Panzerfaust was just a very handy weapon. As it wasn't just like an anti-tank, it could also effectively use like a grenade launcher. The Surge, for example, used to clear up bunkers. The Germans used to fire Panzerfaust straight into Soviet attacks, but also used it for clearing up buildings. Like the Panzerfaust was just a very high utility weapon, which the game ultimately never really remotely even reflects. Obviously, again, that'd be difficult to balance, but you know, that's sort of like, you know, the other side, you know, of balancing things out. Almost got to wipe them. The Volksgrenadiers up north here. Panzer IV going for the Maxim, pushing it back. And I was closing another T-34. If you get a wipe here, though, that would be great. And no, Jürgen makes it away. But does he? Does Jürgen make it away? VonIvan's definitely intent on killing Jürgen. Maybe Jürgen said a joke that VonIvan did not like. Orbison charging 40 at the conscripts. T-34 from top. There we go. Fleming goes off on the Orbison done. That's a small winner for VonIvan. He also has brought in some more infantry fighting. That's very good. Anti-tank on the Panzer IV. They could actually hit it with the anti-tank grenade assault. That would be pretty dangerous there for Fährig's Panzer IV, which I imagine is exactly what VonIvan's angling at. There we go. Almost got the Panzer IV. A few more shots to finish it off here. There we go. Got it. Great killer for VonIvan. Definitely punishes Fährig there for underestimating tank hunter conscripts. They may not seem like a lot, but the anti-tank grenade is basic. Anti-tank grenade assault is really where they can deal a lot of damage very fast to your tanks if you're not careful. And then you can just use the anti-tank rounds to finish them off. I've seen some players just ambush tanks with them and just like, you know, boom, half health gone and just finish them off with other sources. So definitely dangerous there for Fährig right now. VonIvan's bringing more tanks here versus Fährig and the Red Army. His field gun, though, is in a lot of deep Sicherbliat. T for the wing in there, greatly on the Volksgrenadiers and the Panzerversieger. Charging 40 of the Red Army. Stielhandgranate right into the 3rd Infantry, and boom, gets a few kills in there. T-34 from 6 almost done. Up north here, point being used by the engineers. But yeah, I think it was like even, was it Zhukov or was it Sokovsky that actually just pretty much just told the entire army, you know, by 1945, just, you know, use Panzerfaust. They're great. But yeah, I mean, you know, not a flashy weapon in the game, but in the actual war, the Panzerfaust was a really, really impressive weapon in a way. Also really cheap to make. Keep it playing northwards here for VonIvan. Need to fix up that T-34 from 6. Heading northwards there for the glory of the Red Army. Heading northwards for the northern victory point. Got the Upsilon on the move there. LMG 34 is being added. He's got 2 Upsilon squads here. He's also digging in quite aggressively around the centre. That actually is something he needs to be careful because this is, you know, the sort of scenario where then VonIvan would be rewarded for, say, building a B4 to just, like, you know, hammer Fährig into the dirt if he, like, gets so close. And of course, he may not be aware that he's not be thinking about it because tank hunter tactics is a pretty rare commander. So if he doesn't think about this, I mean, he could unwittingly just, you know, create a scenario where VonIvan just, like, you know, goes for the B4 and then just utterly spanks Fährig. So a bit of a dangerous situation here, possibly if Fährig is not careful. Like, one mistake then VonIvan could just, like, you know, slap him into the ground and then some. Making use of the T-34 quite aggressively here versus Fährig, you know, use them to, like, gain tactical advantage, like, on several points in the front line. He's not looking for, like, make a breakthrough, he's just looking to, like, you know, beat Fährig in detail, in which case the T-34 from 6 is excellent versus the infantry, crushing them, blasting them. Like, just Fährig here is just overextending his troops so much, and this is great for the T-34 from 6. I mean, they're just amazing with these, like, you know, small engagements. So Fährig needs to, like, somehow bait VonIvan into, like, a large engagement with the tanks, and that way beat them, because or he needs to hunt down the tanks separately with his own tanks, and that way deal with them as well. But currently the sort of scenario there is Fährig is very much just feeding VonIvan's T-34s and 6s. But there you go, VonIvan made a mistake with the field gun. Definitely a great opportunity for Fährig to get that and turn it against VonIvan, or he salvage it. Question of course is Fährig planning for a Panther now? Or is it a command tiger? Because the command tiger I think would definitely be fairly risky versus VonIvan, mostly in terms of timing. T-34 straight to the double academy, so this is going to be great there for Fährig. That's for VonIvan, though again, that's the sort of thing that, like, just begs for VonIvan to go for a B for howitzer. There we go, another Panther 4 there for Fährig. Another Panzerkampfwagenfear thing that is the right decision here, considering just how much pressure VonIvan is applying to Fayrig here with the T-34s and 6s. Like, try and go for anything big with just risk VonIvan doing even more damage with the T-34s and 6s. He just needs to be careful around the anti-tank conscripts, because again, they will very quickly disable his Panther 4 if he's not careful. Keep them pushed back. Sturmpioneer suffers half a wipe there. As for VonIvan, what he is planning next, I do not know. He's digging in. He's got most of the map now. Panther 4 is only for Fayrig. Sturmpioneer with 24 kills, near ace level actually, and the flak half deck is also in need of some repairs here. Panther 4 right around the corner. There we go. Second Panzerkampfwagenfear ready here for Fayrig and for Deutschland. Skirmish around the center, got the anti-tank counter there, drawing the attention of Fayrig's forces. Could be bait perhaps even. See if we can't bait in the infantry into a more like favorable engagement there for VonIvan. And there we go, we get the B4 howitzer. And Fayrig, the way he's positioning his forces currently means he's going to be probably like a really good target for the B4 howitzer again. This is like the sort of nightmare scenario for Fayrig and the dream scenario for VonIvan. Bolts being hammered with the T-34s from 6. T-34 getting hammered with the Raketenwerfers. B4 Hard is now ready for VonIvan. They're primarily, I believe, intended for urban warfare to like you shatter, you know, dug in positions and bunkers and whatnot. So a little fun fact about the B4. So we'll have to see if we can spot a target and then hammer it here with the bow arch there. Troops sitting out there. T-34s need repairs. Northern points being seized. My nose is itchy. Bit of quiet here. The quiet before the storm, perhaps the final storm. Northern big top being seized here. The Ken members are ambushed. Go B4 firing. Straight hit here. Sturmpioneer scored almost with about 2 men left, and they're probably both deaf after that. Second shot goes off there, shatters a nearby wall, perhaps killing a few squirrels. Definitely forces Fayrig to be slightly more careful now, and of course now he knows the B4's out there, so that will, I imagine, add some psychological pressure here to Fayrig, as again, now all of his like maneuvers and tactics and everything's like, you know, has to like keep himself in mind, like, does this make me vulnerable to B4 barrage? Meanwhile, VonIvan's lining up for a big counter push again, like he's just immediately surging forwards here in the wake of the B4 barrage, which again just completely unnerved Fayrig, since, you know, he doesn't want his stuff just getting blown apart. Also an enemy fit for the Maxim. He could have like driven up here, I think, tried to flank Fayrig from the angle. But now he's creating another target phase. It seems like, you know, Fayrig is just already caught up in the fighting and he's completely forgetting about the B4. That's great for VonIvan, and obviously very bad for Fayrig. He could actually like try and dive into the base and try and take out the B4, I suppose, but if he doesn't feel confident about that, that's obviously not going to happen, though. Like, you can just like try and make a drive-by, then call in the artillery to finish it off. B4 is almost ready to fire again here. There's still quite some time that has a significant cooldown. Moving up the west side if there's some mines down. Again with their abandoned. Flak half panel coming fast, Sturmpioneer moving in, Panther 4. Looks like he wants to do something there, but at the same time Fayrig is hesitating in, like, you know, he is nervous, he is unnerved. And the B4 is ready to fire here. Now we got 300 versus 303. But I'm as well ducked in across the map here. This is a possibly really great target zone there for the B4. We can see Fayrig is now starting to spread out his men a bit more, so that's good for Fayrig. Time for ramming, shoots, bounces off the T-34 frontal arm, focuses clearing up the field gun. B4 is firing again here. Straight at the orbital dart there, shot goes a bit above them, but still surpasses them. And the full squad, they could go down here to the second shot. Let's retreat, maybe. Yup, wiped. Great kill there for VonIvan. Engineers then being caught with the flak half tech. Veterans in free. Steadily approaching Metro. There you go. Anti-tank comes going for it. Max are backing it up here. B4 shot that almost blows apart VonIvan's own conscripts. I don't think he'd actually care about at this point. Conscript here, they're about to get wiped out. He's also gone for a fourth one. Well, actually had, but oh wait, that's wiped. And the flak half tech is down. He's stinging blow here to Ferric. His forces are crumbling. As VonIvan surges forward for the Red Army, supported by some really big guns. Grandmother Kidnap here away from Ferric. That's only going to make things much, much more difficult here for Ferric versus VonIvan. People have been caught here, taking some light damage. Another Pantherfoy for Ferric. Can't being mauled here by the Pantherfoy and the advancing orbital dart, and T-Fed still looking to shred here Ferric's advancing troops. 290 versus 303, now the T-Fed for VonIvan. Got the field gun at least. It's coming at a fairly high price here for Ferric and the Germans. In the south orbital forts there. Pantherfoy racing ahead here, veterans to gained. B4 is close. That's another volley here versus Ferric. Destroy the field gun in the name of Deutschland. We did it, Jürgen! We did it! Yeah, there's just, you know, so many more. Okay, moving up the Pantherfoy. Taking the Pantherfoy ready here for Ferric. Until he called in. B4 unleashing another volley here against VonIvan. For Ferric, no, he's not unleashing against himself. That's nonsense. Where is he shooting it? Oh, there he's hoping to get lucky. Typically always the least effective option. But he could get lucky, obviously. In the end, the only thing he's killing there is squirrels. He's absolutely pulverizing them. And I'm sure he's like, you know, on the #1 hit list for squirrels worldwide after that. Enemy of the squirrel state #1. VonIvan. But it had absolutely no impact on the Ferric of the Germans. Pantherfoy pushing forward here. 286, 292. VonIvan's forces here withstanding another assault from Ferric, but he could launch a counter-attacking. Looks like it's going to happen there. Worth noting here, effect. Pantherfoy the position is absolutely poorly lined. Several re-hits, definitely T4. Pantherfoy squad being crushed. This is going absolutely poorly here for Ferric. Absolutely. I mean, one of the 6 objects, the Pantherfoy's positioning was horrid. Probably not his fault, but it didn't help him. And then the Pantherfoy squad being crushed really did not help him either. He could actually charge in and I think just finish off his opponent here possibly. Like, Ferric is currently strung out and east of bottom, there you go. Pantherfoy this time exposed to the flank there. All of a sudden they're about risk being crushed. Got a retreat there. I didn't like pulling the anti-tank run here on the other Pantherfoy. Doesn't need it, I think. Ace T-Fed for Balway. 24 kills. Got one Pantherfoy, they're leaving just Ferric with just one more. And there we go, leaving him with no Pantherfoys. And that Ferric surrenders. A loss here for the German army. A victory for the Red Army. A brutal fight here on Faymonville Approach with some really nice armored tactics. Great use of the conscript PTO's package, showing what it can do. Plus a bit of explosive artillery. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. And of course, do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You are all a wonderful audience. And I hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.